Hello everyone, welcome to this training session, and in this session we will introduce Power BI tools available from Microsoft, uh, and in this training session we will also uh, demonstrate a few versions of Power BI, and about what are the basic uses of Microsoft Power BI, which is becoming very popular these days, and how to arrange actually the environment or the required tools in order to learn Power BI. So let's start. So the training agenda or overview is about we will describe about something about Power BI. We will introduce the Power BI, and then what is basically data modeling, because now in Power BI this will be involved. The data will be modeled, and that's why we need to also clear the concept about what is data modeling. And then in Power BI ecosystem, what are the components around it and which are supporting each other, and then what are the basically pricing models and versions, and lastly the most important thing is how to arrange the resources for practicing or learning Power BI. So let's start with introduction first. And Power BI is basically a business intelligence tool, and before when companies were using ERP tools, so at that time normally finance or accounts people or other departments, they used to use Microsoft Excel and do their pivot chart and doing the analysis, getting the data from ERP, and there were certain limitations also for number of rows, and there were various limitations. So keeping in mind, and also the choice of graphics and whatever the visuals available was also limited. So now the Power BI was introduced, which has even more features, and basically there are certain elements which are common to Microsoft Excel and Power BI. So this Power BI, just like Tableau is also the same tool for business intelligence, which will give you the analytics KPIs in order for a business how it is running. So the graphics are very attractive, so normally top management, they want to see how their business is performing. And so in terms of graphics, in if you involve the graphics and include those graphics in your presentation to demonstrate about the progress of your business, or how the company is progressing, so that will be very attractive as well as very simple to understand, and in comparison to the previous years. So there are basically four main components around Power BI. There is Power Query based data fetching engine, which will definitely get the data from various sources. There are so many connectors, and so it will allow you almost from every logical place, like databases and Excel, Microsoft Access, or whatever. I mean, are the normally conventional tools. So we can fetch our data using the Power Query, and then there is a Power Pivot based, DAX, which is called Data Analysis Expression. In short, it's called DAX. DAX language is based. This is used for data modeling. So that language is DAX language based data modeling engine is used here. So that engine supports also Power Pivot. So thirdly, there is an open source modern visualization engine for basically interactive reports, where you can choose certain parameters, certain filter criteria, or number of specific year or a specific country or a specific region, or whatever the filter criteria is, and it will turn the graphics will automatically turn into the selected value. So it will show you as per the selection. So that's why it's called interactive reports. So that modern visualization engine is used, which is basically open source. And then a cloud-based web environment is basically used, and there is a web-based service, and also mobile native apps are supporting the framework, which is basically enabling sharing of Power BI reports once it's designed and it's deployed. So sharing is also possible using Power BI service or powerbi.com. So then data modeling is the basically what is basically data modeling. The data modeling is methodology of getting data from different sources. It also involves process of loading, structuring, and relating that data with each other or other data. So it is just like entity relationship diagram if you have seen in RDBMS or relational database management systems. Then you need to relate, tables with other tables. How those are related? There are parent and child relationship and cardinality. One to many or one to one relationship and something like that. So this data modeling basically is a process of loading, structuring, and relating logically with other data. It also involves augmenting, decorating, and getting it ready for use. If you have known about the concept of data warehousing, so basically the ETL operation or extraction, transforming and loading. So basically in the same way, we will decorate, augment our data, and maybe we can denormalize it in order to present it well for the top management or wherever the audience is. And key objective is basically to avoid writing a custom query every time. SQL queries you need to write to get a specific subset of the data, so that is avoided here when a different set of data is required. So data modeling basically is the concept to avoid that writing of query every time. So data modeling also involves like deciding optimal structure and shape of the source data to analyze, as well as whether to bring in all data or summary data. So that is up to you. I mean, in the data warehousing, normally there is a full load and there is incremental load. And if it is not needed, the full, detailed transactional level, so only summary data suffice. So in that case, this decision is also under this data modeling process. Also, loading the data from source into the data model, that is also possible using Power BI. And then lastly, defining the logical relationship between various tables similar to VLOOKUP in Excel. However, data in Power BI case stays within itself. So that is also the same concept, just like I have told RDBMS and ERD, entity relationship diagram. One table is related to other table. So in this way, the table is, structurally it is divided. This is called normalization, and each of the table is dependent upon the other table. In this way, if we are saving our storage as well, because if some child table does not have any record, so no need of creating a single record which will contain all the field value. Instead, we will split it into multiple tables and saving the storage. So VLOOKUP is very common in Excel, when again the same concept is used to look up from other data set, so based upon key values. Also, we can define data types such as the numeric, text, and so on for columns, and also creating the new insight based upon calculation from the source data. For example, if we want to calculate margin or margin percentage based upon certain values available in columns like cost and sale price in transactional data, so we can definitely define an insight just like a margin or margin percentage, which we can then utilize elsewhere, and we can reuse it in our workbook. So in the same way, we can define the new facts, and those new facts model can be reused. And then newly created facts or business insight or measures can be given meaningful names as well. And then learning DAX language, joining data tables in Power BI is part of process of data modeling. So that is basically helping and supporting in this process. So what is the ecosystem of Power BI? In the screenshot, you can see powerbi.microsoft.com, and it's showing you multiple, components. And in this, you can see Power BI desktop is there. So Power BI desktop is basically a designing tool where you can design and visually explore your data, and you can try it, test it before deploying on the cloud-based service. So a broad range of modern data visualization is available, and easy to use report authoring experience is available. And then there is a Power BI mobile available. In Power BI mobile, you can access your data anywhere through this mobile app. This is available in Apple Store, and Google Play, or from Microsoft. And similarly, there is a Microsoft on-prem data gateway that is basically used to connect your cloud-based Power BI service with your on-prem database or source of data. So without moving that data to the cloud. And the same way, on-prem reporting with Power BI report server is available when companies they are reluctant to deploy their confidential reports, or reports to the cloud. So they implement this on-prem reporting with a licensing model from Microsoft on their on-prem. It works just like SSRS report server, so it's similar to that one. And then for that, Microsoft Power BI report builder is available, where you can create your paginated reports for printing or electronic distribution with a familiar experience relied on by thousands of report authors. So similarly, in this slide also we are explaining the same thing. So Power BI desktop is a Windows desktop based application for PCs, and desktop is primarily for designing and publishing reports to Power BI service. Once you have designed certain reports, so you can deploy it by connecting or logging in with your user ID, official user ID, and connect it to the Power BI cloud service, and just deploy that report. So Power BI service is basically SaaS based, which is software as a service based model. So this is an online service, and before it was known as Power BI for Office 365, but now it is referred to as powerbi.com, or simply Power BI service. So that requires you to have at least a professional license per user. There are basically two licensing available. One is capacity based, which is premium. The other one is pro, which is per user license, which is professional licensing. And then Power BI mobile apps, as described already, that these apps will provide you the same functionality, similar functionality on Android devices or iOS devices or Windows phone and tablets. Power BI gateway is also used for, already described, that it's used to sync your external data in and out of Power BI, and are required for automatic refresh. And in enterprise mode, it can also be used by flows and Power Apps in Office 365. Then there is a Power BI embedded, and if you know Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation ERP, there it is also used. That will use definitely the user licensing for D365. And similarly here also it is described like Power BI REST API can be used to build dashboards and reports into custom applications that serve Power BI users and non-Power BI users. So custom application can be any other non Power BI based app. So those custom app will embed the Power BI reports in that application itself. Then Power BI report server is of course the same on-prem Power BI reporting solution when the companies want or can't store data in cloud-based Power BI service. So that is for confidentiality maybe, or the company is reluctant due to some country laws or some company's law itself, then Power BI Premium is recently introduced in 2021, where Microsoft created a Power BI Premium per user license that lowers the initial cost. Power BI Premium is a capacity-based offering that includes the flexibility to publish reports broadly across an enterprise without requiring recipients to be licensed per user. So it means these are not a specific license rather than a capacity. For example, if capacity of 50 or 100 is used, so any user, so it is not specific to a user, so it is only a capacity. Whoever will access it, so maximum 50 users will be allowed or 100 users will be allowed. So it is not linked with per user. So then there is Power BI Visual Marketplace where custom and R powered visuals are available to purchase. So basically, there are pricing in which Power BI Pro and Power BI Premium is available. In Pro, this is normally cost right now. It can vary depending upon maybe the country to country or after certain time. So right now per user license is almost $9.99 per user per month. And if you buy Power BI Premium, and there are two basic models there. One is $20 per user per month. So the other one is $4,995 per capacity per month. So the required details will be there if you can check it on the Microsoft website. So the updated the pricing will be available definitely. So how to get basically a free or trial version for practice? So basically there is a need of having a Microsoft 365 account, and especially we need to have an admin account, and for that you can if you are a developer or you want it as a training purpose, so definitely you need to sign up for Microsoft 365 E5 developer program, which is, I think right now it is renewed every 3 months. So you can have 25 licenses for that, but it cannot be used commercially. It is only for development purpose. So once it's subscribed, so afterwards you can go to Microsoft Power BI website. So on the Power BI website you can just sign up for the trial, and this is a limited time trial. Before it was available, there was a free version in which one workspace was supported on a single workspace. Right now it is not showing up there, but you can still sign up for the trial. And then what other tool we need? Basically we need a Power BI desktop, and that desktop is also available through Power BI website, powerbi.microsoft.com, and you can download Power BI desktop either from there, or you can also download from Microsoft Store, which is in Windows 10 if you are using Windows 10. So in that you can go to Microsoft Store and directly download the app. Basically that app from Microsoft Store is frequently updated. So since it's frequently updated, I would recommend to download it from Microsoft Store instead of Power BI website. So then there will be sample data set which we definitely will need, and there is some AdventureWorks Access DB which is available on Dropbox. So the links of all these things I will definitely put in the description, from where you can download or subscribe to these programs. And once you have subscribed, sequentially you need to subscribe here for Power BI service trial. Before that you need to definitely subscribe, as I told you, Microsoft 365 E5 developer program. The viewers who are checking out my training videos, they must have already signed this, because there were certain training videos which I have uploaded for Power Apps and Power Platform, Power Automate Flows, and using business events. So if you have not yet done it, so you can just go ahead and subscribe to this Microsoft 365 E5 developer developer program, and once you have subscribed to developer program, then you can next go to the Power BI website and just subscribe to free or trial version there. And this is time limited version, so definitely so once it is available, so what benefit you can get, basically whatever reports you will design in Power BI desktop, you can just sign in using Power BI desktop to your cloud account, and just you can deploy that report to the cloud account. So you will have the flavor of how to deploy your reports to cloud account. So, and rest sample data set and adventure work, basically this data set we will use to explore the features in Power BI desktop or Power BI service. For that, this sample data is essential. And so I will just put the links in the description of this training video. So just stay tuned so that our next video introducing Power BI desktop, and we will be practicing throughout, I mean, all the features of Power BI desktop, and Power BI cloud service. So just stay tuned, and I will be uploading more videos about the training on Power BI. Thank you very much, guys. And if you have any feedback and comments, please put in put it under the comments of this training video. Thank you.